What's good, Eagles fans? Y'all are tuned into another episode of Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just gotta charge it to the game. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and we got the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. We're going to Pittsburgh, y'all, Heinz Field, and this is going to be really, really entertaining for one reason and one reason only. We finally got our first win. We got that monkey off our back, and now I feel like the Eagles can play free. They're not playing just thinking, oh my God, we got to get this win. We got to get it. We've been playing so trash. We got to get this win. Now I feel like the guys can play a little bit more free. But let's start with the numbers, because this is not going to be an easy game by no stretch of the imagination. We are still extremely short-handed, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are actually, in my opinion, just based off what I've seen and based off what I heard, they are one of the healthiest teams in the league right now. It's just that simple. But let's just go by the numbers. As it pertains to the Philadelphia Eagles, they're averaging 21 points per game, 319 yards per game, 207 pass yards per game, and 111 rushing yards per game. The Steelers are averaging 26 points per game, 382 yards per game, 242 pass yards per game, and 139 rush yards per game. So, just based off of that, their offense, way more explosive than ours. They put up more points than us. They're able to get down the field. They got guys that are able to go down the field and catch those deep balls, like a Chase Claypool, their rookie, Juju Smith-Schuster. The Steelers are an extremely talented team on offense. James Conner coming out the backfield. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy feat by no stretch of the imagination. But I think the Eagles can pull this out if the DBs really come out and play. If Darius Slay shuts down Juju, I think that can make the game a lot easier, and they don't really have that electric playmaker outside of him. Like I said, they do have a guy like Chase Claypool, who's a rookie. He's coming alive. Right now, he had the longest touchdown reception in the league, so no one's passed him, and he's averaging over 20 yards per reception. So that's going to be really tough. The Eagles defense, particularly the DBs and the D-line, have to come to play. They really have to. We have to get to Ben Roethlisberger. We can't let him get too comfortable. He's a veteran, so he knows exactly what to do. And we can't let those wide receivers burn us downfield. Now, as it pertains to the defensive numbers, the Philadelphia Eagles are allowing 26 points per game, 352 yards per game, 243 pass yards per game, 108 rush yards per game. And the Steelers are allowing 19 points per game, 290 yards per game, 236 pass yards per game, and 54 rush yards per game. That is alarming to me. They're allowing less than 60 yards rushing. 60 yards, they're allowing less than that. That means the Eagles need to make it a point to get that rushing game alive. But on top of that, even bigger than that, Carson Wentz is going to have to throw the ball a lot more this game. I just know for a fact. But they're also going to be sending a heavy blitz packages to them. This is Mike Tomlin defense. This is what they're known for. They got guys like T.J. Watt coming off the edge as a linebacker. This is not going to be an easy game. No game so far has been easy, but every game prior to this one has been extremely winnable. I think this is going to be our toughest opponent since the Rams. Since the Rams, for sure. But like I mentioned prior, the Eagles can win this game. It's going to be a real big game for Carson Wentz, and it needs to be. Like he did last week, he's going to have to show that he can dictate pace, he can move the ball downfield, he can keep the defense well rested by staying on the field long enough and scoring points. I know our offense has been very stagnant. I know the play calling hasn't been the most creative, but I think the Eagles are starting to develop as far as play calling, and they're starting to understand what they really have, and they're starting to utilize guys according to their strengths. And I think they're starting to take the trailer off of Carson Wentz, meaning they're allowing him to run his ass off. They're allowing him to really just manipulate the game, really affect the game in all different ways, and I like that. I like the fact that the Eagles offense is truly starting to get a little bit more confident. Carson Wentz is starting to get more comfortable. He still threw a pick last week, which I didn't like, but the ball was tipped. It is what it is. But I think other than that, he played a pretty good game. He played a pretty decent game. It was an extremely gutsy performance, and I'm proud of the guy. But We can't lower the bar. You have to be better than this. Your contract states you're better than this. And this is a game where you're really going to have to come through because that Pittsburgh defense is extremely, extremely dangerous. And like I said, they're going to be sending heavy blitz packages, heavy. And the Eagles' O-line is going to be extremely tested beyond belief. This might be the strongest test or hardest test outside of, Aaron Donald and, the Washington D-line, because I don't think the Eagles are going to see a more complex blitz package or blitz scheme than they're going to see this week going against Mike Tomlin. This is something that this is what he do. This is what he does. This is what the Steelers are known for. They're known for their defense, and they're known for just sending the house at the quarterback. And Carson and that O-line has to be ready for that. The Eagles O-line has been fairly decent throughout the year, despite, the injuries. Jason Peters, that dinosaur, we honestly need to just cut our ties with him. But obviously, you want to get the most out of him until the end of the season. I don't think Jason Peters is it anymore. I'm sorry. It started with an illness, then it became a toe injury. It's just something after another with this guy. And Jason Peters, I'm honestly done with JP. I'm done with him. He honestly cannot play for the rest of the year. I wouldn't even care. I want to get these young guys some snaps. I want to get guys like Jack Driscoll involved. I want to get guys like Prince Tega involved more. Matt Pryor, Mailata, who played a very good game. His first career start last week, had played a very decent game, and I'm proud of the Aussie. I'm really proud of him. But Jason Peters, the dude is just, he's washed. He's washed. It's no other way to put it. But outside of his injury, we have key injuries outside of that. Avonte Maddox ankle, which we already knew. Dallas Goedert ankle, not coming back this week. Ryder McLeod hamstring. Deshaun Jackson hamstring. TJ Edwards hamstring. Alshon Jeffrey foot and illness. JJ Arcega-Whiteside calf, but Arcega-Whiteside did practice fully. Everybody else partial, limited participants, if not participating at all. So the Eagles have significant injuries in significant parts of the field. So honestly, man, this is not going to be an easy game by no stretch of the imagination. Like I said, run game is going to be crucial, even though Steelers stopped the run. We got to get it going. We got to get Miles Sanders involved a little bit more. I feel like we haven't really been really utilizing Miles Sanders the best way. I think Carson and Miles Sanders, their chemistry, they're still working on that, especially in the passing game. I feel like they haven't been on the same page as of late when it comes to the passing game, Miles Sanders and Carson Wentz. But they can get it together. And I know especially since the Steelers have a strong blitz game, a strong pass rush, the Eagles are going to come up with a lot of ways to get the ball out of Carson Wentz's hand fast. Running a lot of crossing routes, a lot of routes to the flat, screen plays, a lot of quick slants, passing plays, to the running backs, play action. They need to utilize that. They need to take advantage of the eagerness of a Steelers defense, of a pass rush like that. You have to take advantage of their eagerness. Otherwise, you're just going to constantly get beat up, and we can't allow Carson to get beat up. I feel like he's been getting touched way too much this year. But again, the O-line has been shuffling like a deck, and we don't really know who's going to be out there normally until game time. But for the most part, O-line has been playing pretty decent. I think the Eagles can win this game. It's very winnable, but defense is going to have to show up tremendously. And then Carson Wentz is going to have to really pitch his best game. It's just that simple. You guys, I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You're always tuned in to Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge us to the game. Listen, we can win this. We can do it. Carson just got to play one of his best games. And Doug, Jim Schwartz, coaching staff, please don't make it harder. Get creative, mix some things up, get Jalen Hurts involved with some things just to give that Steelers defense something different to look at. That's all I have. I love you guys. Fly Eagles fly. One love.